Hello everyone, my name is Anshu Pal Singh. I am a law graduate from National Law University, Jodhpur. Let's dive into the story behind the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. In August 2023, a historic movement unfolded when Union Home Minister Shri Amit Shah ji presented the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita bill to the Lok Sabha.
तीनों कानून अंग्रेजों के जमाने से बनाए थे। जैसा मैंने कहा कि 150 साल पुराने कानून हैं। मोदी जी ने प्रधानमंत्री बनने के बाद गुलामी की मानसिकता और गुलामी के सारे चिन्ह इस देश में से जल्दी मिट जाए और नए आत्मविश्वास के साथ महान भारत की रचना का रास्ता प्रशस्त हो, इस पर आग्रह रखा। उन्होंने लाल किले की प्राचीर से कहा, मान्यवर, उन्होंने कहा कि कॉलोनियल कानूनों से जल्दी इस देश को मुक्ति मिलनी चाहिए और उसी के तहत गृह मंत्रालय ने 2019 से इसमें परिवर्तन लाने के लिए गहन विचार विमर्श चालू किया था। मान्यवर, ये जो कानून थे, ये कानून एक शासक ने, विदेशी शासक ने अपने शासन को बनाए रखने के लिए बनाए हुए कानून थे। एक गुलाम प्रजा को गवर्न करने के लिए बनाए हुए कानून थे और इसकी जगह अब ये जो कानून आ रहे हैं वो हमारी संविधान की मूल 3 चीजें, व्यक्ति की स्वतंत्रता, मानव के अधिकार और सबके साथ समान व्यवहार, ये 3 सिद्धांतों के आधार पर बनाए जा रहे कानून है। ये इसका मूल परिवर्तन है।
This movement was not just another day in the parliament, it was a pivotal shift in our country's criminal justice system. It is not just another piece of legislation, it is about leaving behind the old outdated laws from the colonial era and stepping into a more modern and fairer legal framework. In contrast to the colonial era justice system of the 19th century, the 21st century has seen a major transformation in law driven by technology, globalization, changing societal norms and a forward-thinking judiciary. Inspired by Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji's Panch Pran initiative to eliminate the remnants of colonial rule, the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita superseded the British era Indian Penal Code 1860. This change is all about making the legal system more relevant and effective, not just for lawyers and judges, but for every citizen of India.
जब मैं पंच प्राण की बात करता हूं, किसी भी कोने में हमारे मन के भीतर, हमारे आदतों के भीतर गुलामी का एक भी अंश अगर भी अभी भी है तो उसको किसी भी हालत में बचने नहीं देना। अब 100% सैकड़ों साल की गुलामी ने जहां हमें जकड़ कर रखा है, हमारे मनोभाव को बांध करके रखा हुआ है, हमारी सोच में विकृतियां पैदा करके रखी है, हमें गुलामी की छोटी चीज भी कहीं नजर आती है, हमारे भीतर नजर आती है, हमारे आसपास नजर आती है, हमें उससे मुक्ति पानी ही होगी।
It is about justice that is in tune with the times, reflecting the aspirations of a modern India. So why Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita is important? Now we will take a look on the main features of the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. Let me take you through some eye-opening numbers and digital world of India. 460 million of these folks are active on social media platforms, making up about 30% of all social media users worldwide. And if that wasn't impressive enough, India also has about 650 million smartphone users. With such a massive digital presence, it is clear that a huge chunk of our daily lives is now happening online, whether it is connecting with friends, working, or even shopping. But here is where things take a darker turn. As more people dive into the digital world, the number of online crimes has also gone up. Here is a surprising fact. According to the Crime in India 2022 report by the National Crime Records Bureau, the number of cybercrime cases registered has jumped by 24.4% from last year. That is a huge increase. It shows just how much more online crime is becoming a problem as we all spend more time online. let me take you on a journey through some exciting updates in the world of law. Imagine you are reading a new book and suddenly you find out that it is packed with the latest tech lingo, making it super relevant to today's digital age. That is exactly what is happening with the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. This means that the law is now on the same page as the latest tech developments, helping to cover all kinds of digital crimes more effectively. And there is more. Section 2 clause 8 of the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita has expanded the definition of documents to include electronic and digital records. This change helps the law keep up with the times and makes it easier to tackle crimes in our increasingly digital world. As we explore how the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita is reshaping our understanding of crime, it is important to see how it addresses both the digital world and traditional offenses. While the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita is updating our approach to online crimes and digital evidence, it is also making significant changes to how we handle more pressing issues and familiar crimes like snatching. Let's dive into this fascinating shift and see how snatching is now being treated as a distinct offense under the new law. Snatching is a crime that has been in the headlines and in our daily lives. Section 304 of the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita has introduced a major change. For the very first time, snatching is recognized as its own distinct offense, separate from theft. Why is this such a big deal? Well, it turns out that snatching isn't just a run-of-the-mill crime. It is happening at an alarming rate. Imagine this, in bustling Delhi alone, snatching happens more than 5,000 times. That is right, 5,000. This kind of crime is so frequent and impactful that it deserves its own spotlight in the legal world. But that is not all. Snatching isn't just theft with a twist. It is different in many ways that make it stand out. By giving snatching its own category, the law aims to tackle it more effectively and bring more focus to this growing issue. Let's take a closer look at a crime that might sound familiar but is actually quite different from what we typically think of as theft. Imagine you are walking down the street and suddenly someone grabs your bag and runs off. This is known as snatching. And it is a bit different from your everyday theft. Snatching is a subset of theft, wherein movable property is taken by force or quickness of action from a person. Think of it like a grab and run. Unlike regular theft, where someone might use sneaky tricks to steal your stuff without you even knowing, snatching is much more in your face. You actually see it happening. Now here is where it gets interesting. The law sees snatching and theft differently. While both snatching and theft are crimes, snatching gets a different set of rules and penalties because it is a more direct and aggressive act. So next time you hear about a snatching incident, remember it is not just another theft. It is a crime that is getting the attention it deserves under the new legal framework thanks to Section 304 of the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. Just like the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita is updating how we handle crimes like snatching, it is also stepping up to tackle bigger issues like mob lynching. This law isn't just about handling everyday crimes better, it is also about dealing with the serious problem of mob violence, which has been a big concern in recent years. Let's explore how the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita is making significant changes to combat this serious problem and ensure justice for all. Over the years, we have seen a troubling rise in mob lynching cases in India. In June 2023, things got even worse. Within just 10 days, there were 3 shocking cases. This troubling trend reminds us of past events. One of the shocking examples of mob lynching during recent times was the Palghar incident. In this incident, 2 sadhus were killed by a mob because of false rumors on social media saying that they were child kidnappers. Imagine this. We had laws in place to protect us, but there was a big gap in how they handled certain crimes. Back when the Indian Penal Code was the main law, it did not specifically cover mob lynching. So what was the issue? Attacks driven by hate based on things like religion, class, or caste often were not treated as seriously as they should have been. As a result, the people who committed these crimes sometimes felt like they could get away with it, thinking they were above the law. Now, let me take you through a significant change that has been introduced in our legal system. To address a critical gap in our old law, the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita has brought in a new provision specifically targeting mob lynching. So here is what has changed. There is a specific rule now that focuses on mob lynching. It says that if a group of 5 or more people commit murder based on reasons like race, caste, or even personal beliefs, each member of that group will face serious consequences. We are talking about punishments that could range from death or imprisonment for life and shall also be liable to a fine. But there is more. So let me tell you a bit more about how the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita tackles mob justice. It is not just about the major crimes. Even when a mob of 5 or more people causes grievous hurt to someone, the law steps in strongly. Imagine this: if a group of 5 or more people acting together causes grievous hurt to someone because of their race, caste, sex, where they were born, what language they speak, or their personal beliefs, each member of that group is considered guilty. By making mob lynching a distinct crime, our laws are now sending a clear message. There is no place for this kind of violence in our society. It is a big step towards protecting everyone's rights and ensuring that those who think they can take the law into their own hands are held responsible. Addressing the severe issue of mob lynching with stricter laws shows how our legal system is evolving to tackle serious crimes. But this shift towards more comprehensive justice doesn't stop there. We are also seeing a new approach with community service as a punishment. Let's dive into an exciting shift in India's legal landscape. Imagine a justice system that is not just about punishing wrongdoers but also about restoring fairness and giving everyone a fair shot. That is what the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita brings to the table. So what is the big idea? Let me tell you about a major shift in how we approach justice in India. The aspect of Nyaya is visible through the transition from the retributive to reformative approach. Let's break this down. In the past, India's criminal justice system was mainly about punishing people who broke the law. But now, the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita is changing the game. Instead of just fines or jail time, there is a new option called community service. This is a big step forward. So what does this look like in practice? For minor offences, think small thefts or even an attempt to commit suicide, courts now have the choice to assign community service. Yes, you heard that right. Instead of jail time or hefty fines, offenders might be asked to contribute to their communities in meaningful ways. Imagine someone who was caught for a minor theft. Instead of just paying a fine, they could be required to help out at an animal shelter or clean up public spaces. Why is this approach great? For one, it helps to ease the strain on our overburdened prison system. Instead of adding more people to crowded jails, offenders can be out in the community actively making amends. Well, further, it represents a shift from purely punishing people to focusing on rehabilitation and reintegration into society. I would conclude by saying it is clear that the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita marks a significant shift in our legal landscape, addressing both modern challenges and age-old issues with a fresher perspective. Remember, justice is not just a concept, it is a right that we are all entitled to. That is all for now on the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, but this is just the beginning.
With the enactment of these three parliamentary legislations, India is set for a significant overhaul of its criminal justice system. The Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, the Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Sanhita, and the Bharatiya Sakshya Adhiniyam will, as we all know, replace the Indian Penal Code of 1860, the Code of Criminal Procedure of 1973, of course, which was preceded by the CRPC of 1898, and the Indian Evidence Act of 1872. These laws, in a sense, are a watershed moment for our society because no law affects the day-to-day conduct of our society like the criminal law. Criminal law directs the moral arc of a nation. The enactment of these laws by Parliament is a clear indicator that India is changing, India is on the move, and that India needs new legal instruments.
I will come again soon with more. In the coming episodes, I will be diving into the other two new laws, the Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Sanhita and the Bharatiya Sakshya Adhiniyam, to break them down and make them just as easy to understand. For next updates and insights from my side, please tune to SANSAD TV and catch me on SANSAD TV. Thanks for watching and I will see you again soon.